Welcome to the CascadiaSports.net Seahawks training camp / practice report. We are calling it training camp. It's officially training camp. And officially training camp doesn't end until the preseason is over. So there's no more fans. So we are in regular season practice-like mode. But we're not really in the regular season practice mode. So there you go. So it's day 18 of the Seahawks practicing and as they prepare. So today, before we even got on the field, the pre-practice news actually, dominated the our media room over there, and I'm sure from a lot of other people, Seahawk Nation, asking the question, what just happened? That being Luke Wilson. The Seahawks said Luke Wilson is no longer with the team. All right, and then so Luke Wilson himself said that he is walking away from the team, and because of, and I will quote from you, this is what Wilson posted on his Instagram report. He said, this offseason I went through some health issues and spent numerous days in the hospital with a severe pericardial effusion, which has something to do with the heart. And he said, the situation has really challenged me as an individual and changed my perspective on life and as with regards to life. After reflecting on this yesterday, he goes on to say, and being in the building, I've decided it's time for me to begin a new chapter in my life. So there you have it. Now, we're not calling it, can't call it a retirement until Wilson completes his paper with the league. So that's with any player. You can be waived. There's some contractual stuff here that we just don't know. But what we do know is that Luke Wilson is no longer with the Seattle Seahawks because he has decided that to go and see what else is there for himself in his life, in the next chapter of his life. And so that it's a little bit more clear in terms of why Wilson is no longer with the team. The contractual stuff, and then what does it mean? Between him, the Seahawks, the NFL, who knows? And only time will tell. But for all intents and purposes, and what we're here for, is Luke Wilson will not be part of the Seattle Seahawks at this moment, and the tight ends unit. Who is part of the Seattle Seahawks now is John Reed. It was officially announced this morning that the trade for John Reed from the Houston Texans for a 7th conditional draft pick in next year's draft is now official. And, we got to see the new kid on the block today, and he looked and played the part. John Reed did. In fact, defensive coordinator Ken Norton spoke after the podium. Both coordinators spoke, Ken Norton and then Shane Waldron. And I'll get to the Shane Waldron comments in a moment. But he did talk about how impressive he was, Ken Norton Jr. was, with Reed. He said, you know what? He made a very good first impression. And so, that's what you got. And the practice today was absolutely festival. It was festival, full of energy. Everybody had some pep in their step. And really, it's what you would expect. Because if you don't have it now, there's an issue. Because it really has 3 more days for all the players, not the starters, but for the players to really leave a lasting impression with the coaches. They have 2 practices. That would be tomorrow and Friday, which is virtual walkthrough, and then Saturday, which is the preseason finale. And, if you're battling for for the number 1 spot, in terms of the offensive line somewhere, or maybe the D line, well, like I said, you got 3 chances. And today was, what are those opportunities you had? So it was good. It was competitive, and players were kind of showing, hey, I'm here, I'm ready, I can do this job. And that's what you had today in practice. Who's shown brightly? Well, Dwayne Eskridge continues to really get his legs underneath him now, the rookie. And Shane Waldron, as I said, offensive coordinator, said he's really coming along, Dwayne Eskridge is. And others, Rashard Penny continues to be light on his feet and really show. The offensive line continues to have their battles in terms of who's going to start where. And yeah, it was again festive. Defensive line, you kind of know some of the starters there. It was festive as well. And again, I go back to Jamal Adams showed who he is as well. Had a good practice. Trey Flowers continues to impress in terms of fighting for that starting spot. So, nobody really kind of stood out in terms of separated themselves in terms of the reps and things like that. You don't really know because it's practice, and practice is important. And Shane Waldron talked about that, and so did Ken Norton. He said, look, practices and the games are really important for us, and that's how we put the complete package together. So with one more game, that, as I said, those are the opportunities that's what's there. 3 more opportunities for the players to really show and leave a lasting impression with the coaches that they can do the job and be counted upon. Practice did end on your typical Russell Wilson to a DK Metcalf touchdown catch. How else are you going to end practice? So another bright light there. And so all there is now is for a couple more practices, the preseason game. And the way these practices are going, tomorrow should be another festive. Well, it could be a festival of practice, but it'll be a festive and energetic practice. So for the CascadiaSports.net Seahawk practice training camp report, I'm Asvita Marahiri.